Alright, yeah. Welcome to Magic Duels. We're going to be showcasing my Ulamog ramp deck. Let's just get straight into the game, shall we? See you there. Okay, so first hand looks horrible. We've only got one land, otherwise we may have taken it. This one looks so much better, so... Okay, so first things first, I think we're going to play a Forest and a Jedi Offshoot. Got to start the life game early, because if he's an aggro deck, we need to gain out of that. So most of this deck takes place in the late game, so we need to make sure we actually get there. So Sunblade Elf. It's probably elves we're playing against, so we should expect Abzan colours, or maybe just green-black variant. Not really sure. So we're going to play Woodland Cemetery, game 1 life, and it's between the Evo Leap or the Sylvan Ranger. So the Sylvan Ranger is going to get us a land, thins out a deck, gets us a better card. I think that's probably the better play, because it's going to block the Sunblade Elf as well. We get a land, thin a deck, get more efficient draws in the future, and next turn we can still Evo Leap the next turn and sack, so I think that's the better play. Now we can't kill that Sunblade Elf. A bit of an oversight on my part, but we're just going to throw the Jedi Offshoot in front of it. Not so fussed. Okay. You were calling our bluff there, so wasted his time and ours. So Swamp, I'm going to gain 1 life. This stage, I think... do we have an Evolutionary Leap? We can't play anything off of it. That's the issue. We could retreat, but there's no guarantee we get a land. Or we can just Natural Connection on his turn, and then Explosive Vegetation on ours. I think that's probably the better play, so we're just going to pass the turn over. See what he does. Our opponent, by the way, is Durka Dan, level 15. Quite the name. So he's got a 3/3 Vigilant now. It's an issue that does not require a tissue. Okay, so he's passing the turn over. We're just going to Natural Connection and get a Forest. Gain 1 life. And then let's see what we draw. A Swamp. Not what we want when we're ramping out. So I think we're just going to out-gain life on him. So we're going to gain 1 life off the Swamp. I should really play retreats, actually. If we can gain a stupid amount of life off of that. Yeah, so we'll play an Evo Leap. Won't get any triggers off of it. But what we do get is 4 life off of that, 2 life off of that next turn, if that's how we choose to play it. And then we've got the Oblivion Sower. I like to get really cheeky with this guy and leave him until after I've swung in with Ulamog, just because you gain a stupid amount of life off the retreats and the offshoots. But that is really greedy. It's when the deck really shines, though, that your opponent just knows they've lost because you're at like 70 life. And there's very little to come back from that. I've seen it happen, but you don't come back from it very often. And I'm usually only doing it when it's far too late to do anything about it as well. Okay, so we're going to Explosive Vegetation. Going to go get, I think, just a Swamp and a Forest. It's probably the best play. And do we put counters on things? If we put 2 counters... I didn't select that. Thank you very much. But I guess we're selecting it now. Thank you, game, for clicking straight off of a trigger. So just going to Mortuary Mire, put another counter on that. If I decide that I don't want this guy anymore and I've been blown out by some sort of combat trigger, then I can sack it to the Evolutionary Leap. Probably get another one back. You never know. So how many lands are we on? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 lands. So he's swinging in. If he's going to spend all his mana to keep this guy alive, I'm absolutely fine with that. That's exactly why he's doing it. So he's spent his turn dealing 3 damage to me. And I go get another ranger. I am absolutely fine with that trade-off. 3 life for an extra turn. Yeah. That's 4 damage, yeah. Sorry. Alright, okay. So we're not out of the woods by any means. But we're not exactly in much danger either. So I'm going to ranger. Gonna grab another forest. We're gonna sack it to the evolutionary leap. We're now hunting. Hunting for ramp. There's a Pilgrim's Eye. Pilgrim's Eye is gonna go get me another land. Get a swamp this time. And let's see. I'm going to put another counter on the Jaddy offshoot. Just efficiently block that now. Let's make it nice and big. And yet again, if he wants to get past the offshoot with his 4 damage, he's got to waste an entire turn to do it. And then I just sack it to the Evo Leap. It looks like that's what he's exactly planning to do. Which I'm happy to do, because personally I think it's a massive misplay. So, sack a creature. Gonna sack the Jaddy offshoot. And we get a Nissa. Do I like the idea of sacking this Pilgrim's Eye? I think I do. I think I sack it. There's only 10 creatures in this entire deck, so I'm likely to hit Ulamog right now. Oh, Jaddy offshoot, never mind. Combo breaker, right. So, we play that. Do we want to flip Nissa? No, we don't, do we? Right. Explosive Vegetation. So I might as well, while the Jaddy offshoot's on the battlefield, gain the life from it. It's going to gain 4 life and 6 with the Jaddy offshoot. And then just play another forest, gain another 3 life. Next turn we can Ulamog, and that is likely to be the game. And you'll see why, hopefully, anyway, why it's so hard to get rid of Ulamog in my deck. Sack a creature. And there he is. Alright. So he's coming out next turn. What does he go and exile? Well, if you're going to flip Nissa, he's going to take out Nissa. I'm absolutely fine with that. Be Nissa and always watching, in that, if that's the case. Yes, it is. Okay, so he gets... Ooh, sorry. He gets minuses because he knows that's exactly where I'm going with this. Okay. Okay. So we Ulamog, kill his Nissa, and he's always watching. Play our land for the turn. There's no point putting counters on Ulamog because we're not going to win by damage. We have no intention of winning by damage. We are literally just going to exile his entire deck. 3 turns it looks like, unless he's got card draw. Does he have some sort of removal for Ulamog? That is a Lantern Scout. He is deadly convinced that I'm going to win by damage. Although... Well, I say although. In our current state, it looks bad. But we're actually going to swing with Ulamog, then Oblivion Sower, then gain stupid amount of life. Case in point right now. And there's one of our ways of getting back Ulamog. So if he ever finds a way... Triggers on the stack. That's 20 cards down. He's forced to block. Well, he's kind of forced to block. He doesn't really have to, but... I'm going to imagine. No. Prove me wrong. Oblivion Sower comes in. Exiles 4 more, and I take every land Ulamog's just taken. And we enter 9 triggers worth... 10 triggers worth of retreats. Depending on how long this takes, I may cut it out of the recording. We'll see. Yep, and we win. Let's continue playing, because we might as well. We're only one attack away anyway. And the final trigger. There we go. Oblivion Sower comes down. Nice blocker. And yeah, we'll pass the turn over. Alright. So, our opponent's only way of winning is to get rid of the Ulamog. But upon getting rid of the Ulamog, I sack it and return it. So, he has to get rid of it twice, essentially. And fight through me exiling 2 more things. He has quite the offensive board. I mean, if Ulamog wasn't here, I'd be a bit worried. But I'm not. Because we are going to win on the crackback. It was the case in old Magic Duels updates that this the trigger for Ulamog wouldn't actually go off upon the attack. So if you were to make me sack an attacking creature, for example, it used to be the case where the trigger wouldn't actually hit the stack at all and it'd fizzle out, which is not the case for the card. It is a bug. Huh, there's some more reanimate. But we are just going to swing in for the 10. Exile all the cards. And let's just press continue until we win. Alright, I'll see you in the next game. Okay, so our opponent is 4 squares. He's rank 25. We'll see what we can do. If I had another land, this would be keepable, but it really isn't at this stage, and I'm not willing to take the risk, so pass it back. This ain't great, but I'm going to take it. It's a risky keep, because it doesn't really do anything but gain life. Our opponent's on green. Okay, so we're a bit safe from aggro in that sense. Just going to play a forest and pass the turn, and see what our opponent's up to. Okay, another forest. He's either mono green, which is highly unlikely, or he's just ramping the same way we are. I'm going to play another forest. No reason to play the swamp just yet. Don't want to give my opponent any information that he might use against me. But next turn we will swamp and retreat. Okay, so it's a Nissa. We do have removal for that, but do we have it in time? That's the question. He goes and grabs another forest. So that's all he can grab, really. So, okay. An Oblivion Strike. That's going to be in time as long as we hit the land for it. We're just going to play a retreat for now. So we can start gaining the life that he's going to take away with Nissa. Nissa, for those who don't know, here she is. If you want to pause and have a look at that. That there. He's Explosive Vegetationing. So he's going to go grab some waste. So this is probably an Eldrazi build, I would imagine. Probably going to be looking forward to such classic hits as Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger and Oblivion Sower. Okay, just going to gain 2 life. We need to get rid of the Nissa now because the next land's going to flip her, by the looks of it anyway. I haven't done the math. But we have nothing better to do anyway. We actually have a pretty terrible hand, it's looking like now. This is not doing a whole lot. Ooh, Reality Smasher. That's going to hurt. So we're taking 5 this turn. If I hit a land, we get to Unholy Hunger. Issue is I have to discard a card on top of that to use it. Instead, we get an Explosive Vegetation. So I'm going to go get a Swamp and a Forest. Gain 4 life off of that, though. So we've almost negated his previous turn. Gain the 4 life. Back up to 21. Wonderful. Alright. In the future, I think I am going to get an Eldrazi build. Don't think many people are working with like colourless builds. I'm going to try and make a colourless Eldrazi build sometime in the future. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Okay. So, Oblivion Sower. That is nice. But we kind of really need to deal with the Reality Smasher right now. Or is playing Oblivion Sower as good as dealing with the Reality Smasher? We've got the Renewal as a backup plan to gain a crap ton of life. No issue with life at the moment. It's just whether or not I want to kill it with a 2-for-1 or just play the Oblivion Sower and see what our opponent does. I think I'll test the waters. Let's exile top 4 cards of his library and see what happens. Okay, we did hit. So we hit 1. It's a bit of a sorry state. We did hit an Endbringer though, and a Warden of Geometries, a Sylvan Advocate. 2 cards in there I'm really glad to see gone. However, not glad that they are both cards that we will see in the future if he has all of the collection. So he's swinging in with that 5. That's fine with me, because I've got the Pulse Marassa to bring back anything if he does something like that. Alright. So he's hitting me for a lot. Not going to deny that. But now he's out of creatures, and we have plenty of ways to get back the Oblivion Sower, and plenty of things to do. So, if I play the Pulse Marassa, I've got 4 mana left. Sylvan Ranger gets me another one. So yeah, I think I Sylvan Ranger. Thank you for playing the Wastes, Duels. You usually don't play the cards that I want rid of. Is there any skew in any direction? No, not particular. We have a double black in our hand, so I will get another Swamp, I guess. Let's gain 2 life. So our opponent really has nothing to threaten us with right now. I feel like holding on to the Nissa's Renewal just for the chance at another retreat. But does that feel just really inefficient and not really doing much? Yeah, it does. I'm just going to play it. Gain a crap ton of life. Let's get some swamps. Yeah, let's get loads of life. He's going to be rushing us out with big creatures. So we want as much defense in that regard as possible. Alright. Plays a land and an endless Eyeless Watcher. So it's going to get him a 1/1 2 1/1 Silence for 4 mana. Yeah, that's not very efficient, is it? I'm only worried about a mirror match between Ulamog. There's got to be an Ulamog in there. And as it stands currently, we have no way of dealing with it. I'm going to Natural Connection main phase, just because I can. Get a forest. I'm going to put a counter on that, so that it's not a trade anymore. I should have maybe held on to it, because it's not a trade anymore, but yeah, who knows. So we'd have 5 left over if I pulsed, which isn't enough to bring back the Oblivion Sower. I don't want to Necromantic Summons it because I don't get the cast trigger, which is why Pulse is in here for the cast triggers over all Necromantic Summons, which get counters for spell mastery. Sorry, bit of a brain fart there. So we're just going to pass the turn and see what our opponent does. A land, and that's probably it. I imagine he's got another land in his hand, or some creature removal maybe he don't want to spend on the Sylvan Ranger. He's not going to find much of a better opportunity to remove creatures though. I am going to Mortuary Mire and put an Oblivion Sower on top. And I think, do we put a counter on the Ranger and swing in? Yeah, let's do it. Then again, do you see that? It's been doing that a lot recently. The first trigger off the retreats automatically targets the one that's under the button. It's really annoying. So we're going to swing in for 3. He's not going to take it. We are going to win this race, though. I hope he knows that. Well, I hope he doesn't. But what can you do? That's a Warden of Geometries. I was just looking in my graveyard because I noticed we had an Oblivion Strike. I wouldn't mind holding one of those for when Ulamog comes down, which he's going to at some point. We're just going to Oblivion Sower now and hopefully hit one. Let's see, what did we get? Do we want to put counters on this? Yeah, let's do it. Look, then again. Silly bug. Alright, let's just make a really massive Sylvan Ranger. I'd like to race him down. Did I get anything from beyond? From beyond and the rest were lands, were they? Yeah, looks like it. Tap for 6. He's probably just going to chump block, which is fine with me. No, got an issue with that one bit. There he goes. He's holding on to his Scions. I think he probably realises he needs all the colourless mana for his Endbringer. This thing here. So he uses double wastes there. And he can use the Eldrazi Scion sack to do such things. Okay, so I'm just going to pass the turn over. See what happens. I'm literally just on edge now for his Ulamog. His Ulamog's a pretty big blowout right now. Our perfect setup would be an Evolutionary Leap to sack the creatures that he exiles, which is likely what he does. And also an Oblivion Strike to take out the Ulamog after it comes down, so that we can pave the way for ours and there's no worry whatsoever. I'm certainly, if... Yep, there he is. That's an issue. We need the Oblivion Strike really quick now. Otherwise we're done for. I am just going to Unholy Hunger this. Might as well. I don't feel like I've got much time left, to be perfectly honest. And there's no creatures for the pulse to get. Come on, Oblivion Strike. That is not an Oblivion Strike. Ooh. How about... Oh, I exiled it, didn't I? I was looking for his Endbringer. I was going to nick it from him. I could actually use that. I could force him to not attack or block. Doesn't look like it's going to be the case. I will Necromantic Summons his Reality Smasher though. If he wants to swing in with me, I'm happy to oblige, and I'll swing in for 7 on the way on the crackback. There's not much you can do about it. Okay. Still need that Oblivion Strike. If I get that Oblivion Strike, we're all fine and dandy. If it gets exiled, because I believe there's only one of them in this deck, it's maybe an oversight. Oh, there goes my Ulamog. Oh, an Evo Leap. Yeah. Did not hit the Oblivion Strike. That's a good sign for us. because we can still top deck it. If we don't top deck it now, we've lost. Ew. Yeah, swing in for the 7. And that's going to be the game for us, I'm afraid. He swings in with his Ulamog. He's just going to rub it in, isn't he? Alright. I'm going to play that game. He's not even going to swing in with everything. And that's the game. Such a shame. It's a good game though. If you liked the episode, be sure to like, subscribe and comment down below. And as always, I'll see you later.